And welcome back to Crypto Hulk Show. We've got a massive show today. Unfortunately, the prices are not what the news are. These prices are totally fake. This is what I mean. I'm trying to stack up my crypto. I missed out on about 4.5 years. I bought crypto back in March, April, May of 2020, and I stopped. And then it wasn't until about 3 months ago I hooked up with Caleb and Brown, started buying crypto again. So in a way, I don't mind the cheap crypto prices, because after I read this first article to you, this is a first time that this has ever happened in the world of cryptocurrency. We're having a shift from the old, how they, let me try to explain this. They have a money system in global trading, okay? And it dates back to like the 1950s. The same, let me repeat this. The same technology from like the 1950s is being used today to trade stocks, bonds, derivatives, whatever, globally. That's like 70 years. That's why it used to take days to send money or for days of stocks to trade. I'm going to show you something today. I'm going to show you something so massive today. And I know the prices aren't moving. So what we have to do is we have to ignore price and go with fundamental facts that Crypto Hulk will show you. I'm showing you something right now that has changed the face of crypto and traditional finance. This is going to be a big deal with trading. We're talking like all the money here, not just people like you and me putting in $20 and trying to be rich tomorrow. I'm talking about global financial trading that used to be done on technical rails from the 1950s. They've just accomplished something that's never been accomplished before. Crypto is now trading on the traditional stock market. It's the first time that this has happened where they blended it. I'm showing you here first because this is very important. What comes to mind in my head is XDC crypto. We're going to get into this right now. My name is Crypto Hulk. I'm not a financial advisor, not a crypto advisor, none of the above. Don't believe anything I say on this show. Everything's a lie. Everything's always been a lie in this program. I'm now trying to capture every single video that I've made, any single photo, all of it has been just a big fat lie. There you go. Now, let's get into the biggest lie of them all. Wait, who are the first 5 people? I probably won't be able to see it. Okay, I can see it. Okay, Thomas Young was the first one. Will Eski, TK, We Are Reiki, Crypto Greek. There you go. Then we got XRP Flea, and then Michelle shows up. AJ Singh is here. Okay, let's go to the most important thing. I'm telling you what, I got to get right into this because this is so massive. Let me find the article. Okay, this is it. You need to hear this. I know we're not rich right now, and that's a shame, isn't it? But Crypto Hulk, I just got into crypto last week. I was told if I put in $20, I could have $1 million today. I'm just like, wow. You're one of those. Okay. Let me copy and paste this article for you. For some reason, I don't know if the page is still able to be found. I keep getting these error messages or something. Take a look at that link. Is that a good link? Everybody let me know really quick. Does that link show up? Marcus has some eggs. Link works. Okay. Yes, it does. Maestro Geo says it works. Okay. Now I'm going to show you something here. This is so massive. This is like so much money when this thing gets going completely. I'm telling you what, everybody, it's kind of like you got to have faith. And I'm not talking about the George Michael song, but you got to have faith in what you do sometimes. And we've been studying here some of you for 5 years, crypto with me. I have no doubt of the information that I've found. I have no doubts at all on the path that I've taken. I have doubts about when the time will be to when we're rich. I have no doubts that this platform does everything it can to shut down my program and every other platform. I have no doubts that I'm heavily shadow banned on every single platform. I've got platforms where my numbers just don't grow. And I know that that's on purpose. And I know that I must have information that scares the hell out of the people at the top, because there's these platforms. Okay, so what was it? X, with X. I talked to somebody at X and they looked up and they said, yep, your program is shadow banned. She didn't put it in that way, but she said it is. And I'm like, I knew it, because it won't grow. It's not possible. It sits at 51,300. It doesn't budge. And like, that's not possible at all. I had a friend tell me the other day, yeah, you were at such and such number. And I went back later, you just lost 500 people. And I'm like, what? So I already know. Decline management. Maxine Waters is waiting in your cold plunge. Oh my God. Come on, man. That's nasty. All right, here we go. Coinbase is in the advanced stages of acquiring derivatives platform Deribit. I'm telling everybody, this article is so massive. I know it sounds kind of boring, like, okay, but just when we get into this article, you're going to see that the crypto future is here. Coinbase, the biggest crypto exchange in the United States, is reportedly having acquisition talks with derivatives platform Deribit. Citing people familiar with the matter, Bloomberg reports that Coinbase is in advanced discussions with Deribit to acquire the firm. Deribit is currently the largest centralized platform for Bitcoin and Ethereum option contracts by volume. Both companies have notified regulators in Dubai where Deribit holds a license. The license would be taken over by whichever company acquires the trading platforms. Financial details of the deal, which may not go through, haven't been determined, but it's going to be about $4 to $5 billion. Both companies declined to comment. Sources asked, they would not comment. In a similar move, now listen to this, you got Coinbase doing its thing, trying to get a hold of the largest derivatives market in the entire world. Coinbase, who's backed by Blackrock, the largest financial institution, investing institution in the world. Now, at the same time, you have Kraken, the second largest crypto exchange in the United States. What did they just do? They just bought futures trading platform called NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader, which was founded like 22 years ago, back in 2003, provides services for nearly 2 million traders and is CFTC registered, meaning legally. Now, here, what do we got here? I want you to see what's going on. We have a crypto exchange buying the second biggest derivatives futures trading platform in the United States. The world of crypto has now moved in to traditional finance, everybody. This is massive. Nobody wants to go first, but nobody's going to be last, okay? Nobody wants to be last at all. What we are seeing here is a Ripple partner, Kraken, who's been there day one with Ripple, never gave up the XRP, just kept selling it or whatever, from what I understand. I could be wrong. To err is human, as they say. Kraken, the second largest exchange, acquired futures trading platform NinjaTrader. They already have a license with the CFTC. So Kraken sells crypto. We got rid of Gary Gensler. So anything securities, whatever, it's all good to go because the SEC has a roundtable and they're going to work crypto into securities and have it all good. Now, the CFTC already gave Kraken a green light. So now you got a crypto exchange that's going to be trading futures. You've got right here, Kraken says the deal represents, listen to this, the largest ever between traditional finance and crypto. When I was reading this, I'm like, oh my God. You got Coinbase trying to control the world's largest derivatives market. How much is the derivatives market? We're going to look at that in a minute. That would get you the $20,000 XRP, okay? Let's read this. Traditional markets run on post-World War II, 1950s banking systems, exchanges that close at 4 a.m. So the traditional markets, everybody, they were made in the 1950s with their technology. Think about this now. Think about anything electronic device. Think about any kind of computer device in the 1950s. It was probably massive. Like a 1950s computer is probably the size of my desk that I'm sitting at right now. And nowadays, that same computer is this, tiny. And I'll tell you what, this is probably more powerful than any computer in the 1950s. Crazy. Now, the stock exchanges that close at 4 p.m. Eastern time and settlement could take days to resolve. Crypto Rails fixed these issues. Listen to this. Crypto Rails, the crypto technology fixed, F-I-X-E-D. That's past tense. It's already done. Okay. Crypto fixed these issues. What's the issues? 1950s technology, exchanges that close at 4, and settlement that takes days. Everybody, Crypto Rails fixed these issues, operating with efficient and real-time infrastructure. But legacy finance and crypto have remained separate ecosystems until today. Are you hearing me? Legacy finance, like that 1950s technology shit they were running on, they used to run on, and crypto have remained separate until today. This transaction is the first step in our vision of an institutional grade trading platform where any asset can be traded anytime. Any asset, everybody. Let's say you got some beachfront property in Arizona that you want to sell, okay? Right along the ocean. Let's say you've got a hotel that's tokenized. Let's say you have Burger King stock and you want to go trade it so you can go buy Porsche. You can go buy a Porsche, and maybe a Porsche they only accept who knows what. What I just read to you right now is you get the derivatives market and the futures market. Who's involved in this? Crypto companies, Coinbase and Kraken. You're seeing a merge. You're seeing a merge of two crypto exchanges hooking up with the derivatives market and the global futures market. And they're going to start running on crypto rails starting right now. Now, I don't know when all this goes 100%. What I do know is you are at the very beginning. You're at the tail end of cheap crypto, everybody. You're at the tail end. I don't know how much longer we got. It's all at the tail end. I just showed you how the biggest two exchanges in the United States, and you got Blackrock working with them, just hooked up a deal. Well, they're almost ready to hook up a deal with derivatives. We definitely have a deal where their crypto Kraken is going to control the futures in the United States, at least for now. Remember, first mover advantage. They're in there first. Everyone else is kind of watching, and they're looking to see what happens. Kraken pulled the trigger, and they said, we're doing this. Coinbase is trying to pull the trigger on Deribit, a global derivatives, the biggest one for Bitcoin and Ethereum, the global biggest derivatives market for Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're starting right there. In Saudi Arabia, everything's green light. They're waiting to see if the deal goes through. This has never happened before. And what you're seeing right now on Crypto Hulk Show is the starting of XDC. That's the first one that comes to my mind. We start dealing with all this shit. DTCC is using XDC R3. Telling you. Decline, man, we got that one in. Robert Driscoll, thank you very much for that tax-free donation to the channel. Showed up late again, huh? Slacker, just like your father, Marty McFly. Okay, now, since we're talking about the derivatives market of the entire world that Coinbase is trying to work on, oh, shit. Copy, let's do a copy and a paste. Coinbase is trying to take over the world's right now largest derivatives market for Bitcoin and Ethereum. And they got Blackrock working for them. So Blackrock is the biggest investment company in the entire world. I think we all know where this is going. Blackrock doesn't play to lose. Let me click out of this article here. Look at our next one, the ISDA. What is this? Oh, it's fucking huge. It's the International Securities and Derivatives, I believe, Association, ISDA. Ripple Labs Incorporated is a part of that. I don't see any other cryptos here, everybody. Ripple's mission is to build breakthrough crypto solutions for a world without economic borders. Through blockchain technology, Ripple enables global finance institutions, business, governments, and developers to move, manage, and tokenize value, helping to unlock. What we have here is an ISDA page, and Ripple is a part of that. There's no other crypto involved in this, everybody. If you're brand new, the derivatives market, there's no other cryptos working with the ISDA. Only Ripple that I'm aware of. Now, let's look a little bit deeper into this. Ripple, here's a news article from News BTC Bitcoin. It says, here's the 1 year ago, here's the title. Ripple integration with the ISDA ushers in $1.2 quadrillion market. These people here say, can XRP breach $100? This guy has no clue. XRP, the native token of Ripple, is poised to take part in a $1.2 quadrillion derivatives market following Ripple's integration into the ranks of the ISDA. Earlier in August 2023, Ripple, a crypto payment solution, announced its membership in the International Swaps and Derivatives Association. So there's the name right there. Swaps and Derivatives. This is where this big money is, everybody. The strategic move came as a pleasant surprise to XRP communities. Okay, we're talking about a $1.2 quadrillion market cap with this. Now, how do I come up with $20,000 XRP? And let's say if I'm wrong, which I probably am, that's A-okay. We get our iPhones, we turn them sideways. I'm just going to go with 1 quadrillion. So I got 100 million. I'm going to do the thing, 1 billion, trillion, quadrillion. So here I got a million, billion. So here's 1 quadrillion. let's say there's $1 quadrillion, which they already said there is in the in this market, international swaps and derivatives. Divide that by, let's say, 50 billion XRP in circulating supply. There's 50 million, 50 billion. So there's our number here. Cut off the 1. There's 50 billion. And that equals a $20,000 XRP. That's if Ripple's chosen to run. No, the derivatives we're talking about here, 1.4 quadrillion. Now, there's other numbers through the DTCC. If you include everything, stocks, bonds, derivatives, the whole shot, then it's about 3.3 quadrillion or something like that. I'm just going with right here with this article with the ISDA. And like I said, maybe my numbers are wrong. Maybe XRP is going to be at 50 to 100,000. I'm just talking about 20,000 right now, okay? All I'm dealing with is this article right here, nothing else, okay? I'm not saying these are the exact official numbers. I'm just saying I'm going just with this article and ignoring everything else. So 1.2 quadrillion, that puts XRP at $20,000. If all of this shit, 1.2 quadrillion, 1 quadrillion that's tokenized on the XRP ledger, then you'll have a $20,000 XRP. Let's say I'm 90% wrong, okay? If we wipe out 90% from $20,000, then what do we got? $2,000 XRP. Crypto Hulk, that ain't bad. I'll take that. Okay, see what I'm saying? So the dummies out there, oh, Crypto Hulk, XRP is not going to have 100% control of that. Okay, let's just say XRP has 10% of that. Okay, so I'm 90% wrong. Okay, I'm 90% wrong. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's Crypto Hulk. Now, this is the first time that they wiped out the show. I got some send feedback thing where they directed me to some YouTube help page, and I'm like, I have never seen this before. I couldn't click out of it or whatever. They are really scared to death, everybody. They are terrified. I'm telling you, I've never seen that shit. I literally was like off the whole YouTube, wasn't even there. So, I was like, holy shit. I didn't think the story would get this big. So I showed you the evidence. Those people YT right now are really they are just out of control. They're desperate like an 80-year-old hooker. I don't know if I can even find the articles. That's strange. Hold on a minute. Okay. So let me go over this again. You have Coinbase, who's backed by Blackrock, the biggest investment company in the world. They're going after something called Deribit. And it's derivatives for Bitcoin and Ethereum, the biggest in the entire world. Now, since BlackRock is already the biggest investment company in the world, they're working with Coinbase, which is the biggest crypto exchange in the U.S., to start trading derivatives, which is massive, okay? Now, I've seen reports of it up to over $3 quadrillion. That would put XRP at 60,000, okay? But I'm just going according to this article here. Right now, Ripple integration with ISDA brings in $1.2 quadrillion market. So Ripple is working. Ripple is the only crypto working with the international swaps and derivatives at 1.2 quadrillion. We did the math. That would put now 1 quadrillion, not even 1.2, but let's just say 1 quadrillion would put XRP at 20,000 bucks if everything in the derivatives world, according to the article numbers, of 1.2 quadrillion, because the DTCCs talk about 3 quadrillion, almost 3 times that. Okay, so but they're also using R3 Corda. But remember now, but Ripple's for payments, isn't it? So you got to buy the derivatives, right? So R3 Corda has the platform. I'm not going to show all the evidence for this now. I've already done all this. I'll do it another time. Let's go with the number 3 quadrillion in the DTCC article. So they're using R3 Corda platform, which is like the XRP ledger, but R3 Corda is utilizing the XDC crypto, which now is about 8 cents. And guess what? There's only 37 billion of those. So these numbers here, Ripple's not going to have 100%. I'm just letting you know. But it has a potential. I'm just saying to maybe do that, okay? There's always that potential. Something can happen, a little snafu. And now if we go with all of that derivative is put on XDC, you're probably looking at $35,000 XDC. Right now it's 8 cents. Now, and how do you figure that out? Okay, 1.2 quadrillion divided by a circulating supply of XDC of 37 billion, which is less than Ripple's 50. Instead of that number being 20,000 like Ripple's XRP, because they only got 37 billion, that number would be more like not 20,000, but probably 30,000. If 100% is tokenized on the XDC platform of that derivative, 1.2 quadrillion. And again, let's say I'm 90% wrong with the XRP at 2,000 bucks. Maybe I'm 95% wrong. Okay, so that brings XRP to $1,000, and that's only like 5% of all that shit. Now, we already know it's not going to be, I'm not 95% wrong. I wouldn't have this channel for 5 years if I was 95% wrong. So, I'm going to venture to say, let's just use caution. I'm 90% wrong. That would still bring XRP at $2,000. I have a feeling if it split up with some other cryptos and this and that, and I could maybe see a 30% of that 1.2 quadrillion with Ripples. That would bring us up to what, 6,000 bucks? That's pretty fucking good. I'm happy with that. I can live with that. Okay. So that's how I came up with the numbers. If I'm 90% wrong, 2,000 bucks for XRP. If I'm right, then it could be 20 grand. Okay. Michelle, I sure as hell know it's not going to be $2.30. There's no way. It's not possible to work with $2. It's not possible at all. Michelle Morissette, wow, meow, deep dive. Okay, that was an interesting one. Crypto Hulk with the deep dive. Yes. Joshua Joseph says, I'm happy at $1,000. So there you have it. Let me take a look at if I have any more supporting articles for this. No. That is it. Well, okay, hold on a sec. So where does now Stellar could be involved in this too? Let's talk about Stellar. Now, Stellar's more for small to mid-size enterprise business movements of money. Let's look right here with Stellar. Now, look here, Coinbase gets a stake in a stable coin operator Circle, and USDC adds 6 new blockchains. Okay, here's what we got going on. Blackrock, the biggest investment company in the world, is partnered up with Coinbase, who's trying to buy Deribit, the biggest Bitcoin Ethereum derivatives on the planet platform. Now, Coinbase also owns a portion of Circle, who owns a platform that can link up 6 blockchains based on Ethereum. Now, we know from this article here that Circle runs on Stellar. This particular Circle can run on Stellar, amongst other things. So that's what we got here, Circle and Stellar. Let me show you this. In my belief, now this is just my opinion, because I'll let you know what's fact and what's opinion based. My opinion is this. Circle, which is Stellar, is already linked up with Coinbase, who's already linked up with Blackrock. So a portion of this $20,000 XRP, Circle's going to see some of that. Maybe Circle sees half of it. Remember, everybody, how can I put this? You've got wholesale cryptos, which are for the big houses, and you're going to have accredited investor only status, right? Institutional investor status with some of this stuff. But then you're also going to have like the Robinhood people like you and me who can go into Robinhood. We could be broke as fuck, hook up, buy $20 in crypto and shit, right? You're going to have that. That's where your Stellar comes in for your small to mid-sized enterprises. I'm not trying to portray Stellar as a welfare coin, but it's not designed for the super rich. So broke people like you and me, we can get our Robinhood and what is the other one? These little exchanges and stuff, Webull and shit like that. And we can get in there with our $20, $100 and go buy some shit. And they'll be utilizing, Coinbase will probably have some for broke people like us. And then you can get you can utilize the Stellar blockchain to move your $20, right? And then for the institutional investors who are getting into Deribit and the Kraken Pro people who are institutional or whatever that shit is, they can go in with their $10 million and go buy shit like that. So that's how XRP is not going to own it all. And I was just kind of using a little bit of not clickbait, but in all seriousness, technically, they could just shut it down and maybe XRP could run it all. I don't believe that'll happen. I believe they're going to leave some for the retail market like you and me. So that's why I'm saying worst case scenario, I'm 90% wrong. XRP's at $2,000. I don't think anybody's going to really argue with me too much. Well, there will be those people who are desperate and bored and lonely. Sons of Fresh Oil, thank you very much for the tax-free donation. Appreciate that. So that's how I see it. You got some different blockchains that are going to come in and take a part of that derivatives market. XRP Ledger's not going to have it all. Stellar's not going to have it all. But in my opinion, those would be like the two biggest right there. And I don't know what the numbers will be. Don't ask for like the price shit. Like it's going to be a lot. Okay. That's what I'm saying. So let's say XRP of that $20,000 XRP, maybe you give half to Stellar. Maybe XRP, you take 40% of that. Stellar gets 30%. Another blockchain gets 10. See what I'm saying? You break it down. So it's not all going to be a $20,000 XRP, although, well, it could be. I kind of tend to, let's look at reality. Now this is my opinion, because reality could be $100,000 XRP. Okay. So I'm just looking at it from you. Some people want to know my opinion. This is my opinion. If we can get, now we're going with the numbers of 1.2 quadrillion. Because I've done shows where the DTCC is showing the derivatives at 3 quadrillion. So 3 times this. That could boost the XRP to 60 grand. And let's say they get XRP Ledger gets 50% of that. So it's a $30,000 XRP. Maybe Stellar claims $15,000 per And then other platforms will come in and get portions of that. So maybe Ripple only gets 30%, Stellar gets 20%, so that's half, and then you split it between 5 other blockchains. So even at that, I mean, shit, we're still looking at $5,000 to $10,000 for like an XRP, and the Stellar probably close to the same thing. So that's where these prices go. It's, you see, when tokenization occurs, that's when these prices go crazy like this. When you put all those derivatives on a blockchain, when you back crypto, Bitcoin's not backed. When you back crypto, a ledger, when you put real world assets on top of the ledger and keep them in there, that's when the price goes nutso. And that's when XRP hits 5, 10, 20 grand. And the same thing with Stellar. Okay. And then other blockchains, which I'm not aware of. Okay. Because I'm not an expert in crypto. I'm just going over crypto basics. That's all. It's backed crypto, real world use case. Like, okay, what's Bitcoin's use case? Answer is it has none. What is it backed by? Nothing. What gives it its price? Gambling? What is it going to do for the world? Nothing. What's the XRP blockchain going to do? Hold tokenization of possibly $1.25 quadrillion in real world assets. It's going to hold and protect them. Bitcoin won't be doing that. Bitcoin won't be doing anything except sitting there like a pet rock. That's it. Whatever price you see Bitcoin at now, it doesn't matter. Chimera, thank you very much for the tax-free donation. Chimera says, people calculate, and then I haven't even talked about SWIFT, because I'm just talking about the international swaps and derivatives that Ripple is a part of, not Ethereum, not Bitcoin, nobody else, just Ripple. You saw the article there. Ripple, ISDA, no other crypto. And just you wait till real world tokenization kicks in. And then the world's going to want crypto that's backed with real world assets. People are not going to want crypto like Bitcoin that's backed by nothing. I want you to think about this. Crypto's risky enough. Now, do you want to buy a crypto like Bitcoin that's not backed by anything at all? You could be here today, gone tomorrow. But if you go with a crypto, now maybe Bitcoin's at 100,000 a piece. Okay, that's great. That's great. Congratulations. I wish I was one of those people that had it and I got in at a nickel a piece or whatever. But now let's look when real world and use case come in. And then Ripple's XRP, Stellar's XLM, and all the good cryptos in the ISO get backed. When they're all backed, and you know it's worth, if it's just $5,000, let's say, but you know 100% is worth $5,000. It's not going any less than that because it's backed. Then you look at a Bitcoin, it's 100, but then one day Bitcoin could go to 0. What do you got left? Nothing. At least with the XRP, the Stellar, at least you got 5,000 each. I don't need my XRP to hit 100,000. I mean, if it does, great. But if not, if it just, like I showed you, $2,000, I would be 90% wrong. And we're still at $2,000. That's 2,000 times whatever amount of XRP I got. When Bitcoin one day goes from 100,000 to like nothing, you have nothing. And what do I got? 2,000 a piece for my XRP. And it's not going down. It's not going to go down. It's got real world assets on the ledger. It's never going to go down. In fact, it's only going to go up because Ripple XRP has a burn rate. So every time people use it, it shaves off a portion. It gets smaller and smaller, the amount of XRP, and the price goes up over the years, 5, 10, 20 years from today, 30, 50 years from today. I don't want to be around on this planet then. And knowing my luck, Maxine Waters will be right there saying, hey, Crypto Hulk, I'm only 150. You want to do a cold plunge? I'll be like, oh, my God, you guys are killing me with this Maxine Waters shit. Andre Broussard, thank you very much for that tax-free donation. So there you have it. That's your first article. Pretty fucking big articulo. Let me check the comment section here. She's one of those 325-year-olds. Oh my God. Somebody said something about her skin will start tightening up in the cold water. It need to do a whole lot of tightening. Bitcoin is no more secure than fiat. Now, that's a good point. And then somebody's like, yeah, it's going to take some cold water. Now, you notice how there's no glitch. I was like really getting into it, and then a glitch at about the 35-minute mark or something, and then nothing. Very interesting. Now, if I get into something else, it'll start glitching again and turn off. Red light therapy. Yep. I got to start going. I haven't been to the red light place since I moved like 3-4 weeks ago at least. And I'm feeling that too. I got to go back to the red light thing again. All right. Next news article. I'll go with the big article if I can find my next huge. It's got to be huge article. Traditional finance. What do we got here? Oh, okay. Let's go into this. This is big. We do copy paste. Copy and a paste. Oh, yeah. So here's your article here. Let me start off with this. Thank you for the people that don't donate or whatever. My numbers are starting to go up. I'm starting to see that. So here's the deal. If you cannot afford to gift any kind of donation tax-free to the channel or get a membership, let's play this. Let's make this deal here. Like every show, save the show to your YouTube favorites, send the show to your email, like share it. And then lastly, do this. Get a playlist of like 8 of my videos. Just pick 8 random videos that are an hour and hit the play button. If you can do a recirculate, that would be even better. But let's say you go off to sleep or whatever, or you're done watching Crypto Hulk for the day, hit your playlist, turn the volume off, and go about your day. And what that'll do for me is that's your donation. That helps the channel, the algorithm. It shows YT that people are watching the show. My number of hours watched goes up, so that helps with the algorithm. Then I'll just leave it at that. It helps with the algorithm, so just do that. That tremendously helps the channel. Just pick 8 or 10 videos and then hit play, and that's your payment. And I would greatly appreciate that. The universe would be like, well, they're paying it forward like that. So some people they can't remember, whatever it is. If you want to make that as your payment, if you're broke, you have no money, you can't donate, or you don't want to donate any money or whatever, then at least do that. Help the channel, and then we're square, okay? Oh, we have a donation from Maxine Waters. I can't wait to read it. Maxine Waters says, I'm only 86. I'm sexy and you know it. Oh my God. Okay, this is disgusting. Let's go to the article right here. They're talking about traditional finance, and markets will not survive without tokenization. Everybody, I want you to hear what's going on. This article is not as, let's say, exciting as the last one, but if you understand the information I'm reading, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Traditional finance markets will not survive without tokenization. Are you hearing me? Like, this is massive news, okay? This is massive fundamental news. As global financial markets face unprecedented challenges, tokenized real-world assets, that's like crypto, that's based on real-world assets. You get this? Because listen to what the article's saying. It could be a lifeline with predictable yields and enhanced market liquidity. This article is going to show us how cryptocurrency is going to save the world. You see this? I want you to see the shift that happened from 5 years or more of crypto's bad, crypto's bad, crypto's bad, crypto's bad. Now, all of a sudden, these banks are telling us they need crypto to survive. All of a sudden now, America's tariff, blame it on the tariffs. America's tariff regime has apparently fueled a global trade war, forcing investors to explore yield-generating alternatives. A closer look reveals that illiquidity, opacity, and scalability challenges have plagued global markets for a long time. They weren't in great shape anyway, trade war or no trade war. Tokenized real-world assets have risen to this occasion, thankfully. For one, they ensure predictable yields. Above all, okay, they're a lifeboat. Real-world assets, here, listen to what they say. Real-world assets are a lifeboat for legacy finance. Okay, what do we got going on here? They're talking about, first off, let me add for the last article. The stock market's closed. They're only open from certain time to certain time, right? So that's pretty fucked up. You can't trade 24/7. You have to wait. Let's say if something really bad fucking happens, like you're hearing of a power plant, catches fire, the market's closed. Oh, you're screwed because you can't go in and get your money out of that power plant and put it somewhere else. You're wrecked. You're going to get fucking destroyed, okay? Now, if we have a 24/7 stock exchange for the whole world, something bad could happen at that power exchange. The company is caught on fire. You can pull your money out right away before you lose it all. That's what liquidity means. Liquidity is meaning you can move quickly to avoid. Or if you hear of a good deal, CryptoHawk says, hey, Hedera just hooked up with this company. Then you could go buy Hedera really quick. See what I mean? But if the markets are closed, you're screwed. Thomas Moss, thank you very much for that tax-free donation. Appreciate that. Michael David says, OG YT took money again, but still won't let me tip, but not join. 6th email and 6th bank card. Come on, YT. That sounds like you should file a police report if you live in the United States and say that you pay for a service, because you could actually file a police report on this. Hopefully, if a lot of you do this, but yeah, if you pay for a service and you can't tip or whatever, like you pay for a membership, but they won't allow you to tip, well, that's part of the service, right? So you're being denied that opportunity and you've switched 6 different accounts. That could indicate a chronic problem in YT. A chronic problem where maybe a district attorney investigation might fix the problem, okay? And a police report. So let's go back to this article again. So the article's talking about how crypto is going to save businesses and banks and help them. If we look all the way down below here, it says smart money bets on real world assets. That's the title. Smart money bets on real world assets. What do we got here? JP Morgan. You ever heard of them? BlackRock, UBS, Citibank, Goldman Sachs. All the big names in legacy finance have moved into crypto. Specifically, real world assets, everybody. The biggest banks in the world and or the United States, JP Morgan utilizes Ripple, BlackRock, UBS Ripple partner, Citibank Ripple partner, Goldman Sachs, early Ripple partner. All the big names in finance have gotten into RWAs, real world assets. That's crypto. You know, BlackRock has the Biddle Fund, and they use Ripple. Now, BlackRock uses Ondo Finance. Ondo uses Axelar, who's a Ripple partner. So basically, all these banks here utilize Ripple for real world assets. That's tokenization. They're showing you it's happening. They're even talking about Franklin Templeton. Now, we're going to get into that for a minute. Here's my evidence right here for BlackRock utilizing Ripple technology. Let me do a copy and a paste. This is for brand new people. Right here, you got Ondo. What does it say? Ondo Finance to move 95 million to BlackRock tokenized fund. Okay, this BlackRock fund is no longer worth 95 million. It's worth like 1 billion. Just wanted to tell you that. There's Ondo Finance. You can buy that crypto at Caleb and Brown, my sponsor. I'll give you the link here in a minute. Here's Ondo, who works for BlackRock, linking up with a company, with a crypto called Axelar that's a Ripple partner, and you can buy that on Caleb and Brown, my sponsor. So first article says, Ondo is going to work with BlackRock to tokenize treasury bills, okay? Next, the article here shows Ondo is working with Axelar to tokenize. So Ondo needed some help, so they contacted a company called Axelar, and that was a smart decision because Axelar is a Ripple partner. Let me show you that right now. Right there. So we look here, Ripple and Axelar Foundation. They partner to enhance the XRP ledger's interoperability. So right there, you can buy Ondo at Caleb and Brown, Axelar at Caleb and Brown. Now here is that BlackRock fund. I want to show you something right here. This is where all the money is going. When people are losing all kinds of money, they're pulling out of whatever investments. This is where they're going into right here. Check this out. Tokenized treasuries. This is BlackRock, the Biddle. Remember Ondo, Axelar, and Ripple? This is it right here. In the past 8 days, BlackRock just made 463 million. In 1 year, this fund went from 95 million bucks up to over $1 billion. That's truly amazing. All the money that's getting lost over in whatever kind of investments, not here. This investment's not getting lost. I'm showing you the cryptos that make this successful. All of those. Let me give you the link here. Caleb and Brown. We have a special Crypto Hulk link where you can easily buy these cryptos. The fastest way is to fund your account with USD Circle. So the fastest way that I've found is to, if you have an account at Coinbase or whatever it is, Uphold or something, send your account at Caleb and Brown Circle, and then it funds quickly. The banks tend to take a long time, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. You got to be on your bank every day. These people don't want to send your money. So what I found is just faster. What people are saying is to go to an Uphold or whatever it is, get an account, send Caleb and Brown the money, and then bam. But those are the cryptos right here. Recent figures reveal BlackRock's US dollar institutional liquidity fund, which is BIDL, has ballooned by $463 million in an 8-day span. Tokenized treasury funds have emerged as a pivotal force over the year, and they had a 566% rise, everybody. Now, if we look down below this little picture here, it says, much of the recent expansion can be credited to the influence of Blackrock's BIDL, issued by Securitize. So, who also is helping BlackRock tokenize all this is a company called Securitize. And again, Ripple partner, Securitize. Let me show you this. So, BlackRock's using Ondo. Ondo's using Axelar. Axelar is the Ripple partner to get that done. Now, BlackRock is using a company called Securitize. The article told us, here's the title of this. Ripple-backed Securitize raises $14 million from some banks. So we now know that Securitize that's helping BlackRock is definitely a Ripple partner. The article did mention Franklin Templeton. So here's where our Stellar investors come in. Let me show you this. So Stellar people are going to be happy. Franklin Templeton is also a global investment giant. This article reads, Franklin Templeton launches an on-chain U.S. government money fund. If we go to the second paragraph, we'll see it is launched on the public blockchain Stellar. There you go. This alone could have, make Stellar hit 100, 500 bucks, maybe just this one fund alone. I have no idea. And I think that'll be it for that article. Let's see how much time we got. Okay, maybe I can squeeze in one more article. There's a company called Bayer. A lot of people know Bayer from Bayer aspirin, but they own like a whole bunch. It's not just aspirin. This is a multinational corporation, Bayer. And they chose to get into crypto, by the way. You're going to see, look, everybody's getting in crypto. I'm just letting you know. Bayer adopts Northern Trust crypto-based carbon platform. Let me read this real quick, and I'll show you all the connections. This is exciting. Because why? We have a company called Bayer that has nothing to do with crypto, and now all of a sudden they're getting into crypto. I'm like, whoa, that's interesting. And it's not just some company. This is like one of the biggest ones in the world, maybe the top 100 companies in the world, possibly. Bayer chose Northern Trust as one of the providers for the Bayer Carbon Program. Last year, the bank launched the bank? Interesting. I didn't know Bayer had a bank. They're talking about Northern Trust. Okay. Last year, Northern Trust launched the distributed ledger technology-based Northern Trust Carbon ecosystem, aiming to enhance the transparency of the carbon offsetting process. Bayer is recording part of it, carbon credit inventory on the platform, and is using it to support clients adopting regenerative farming practices. Now, I'm going to hold off with the rest of the article. Let's go right here to who is Northern Trust. Let me do a copy and a paste. Okay, Standard Chartered. That's a massive Ripple partner from like 10 years ago for the past 10 years. Standard Chartered and Northern Trust announce Zodia Custody receives Financial Conduct Authority. Right here. So Standard Chartered, Ripple partner, the ventures and innovation arm of Standard Chartered, Northern Trust. Northern Trust is a leading service provider. They're an investment company. And they join up with who? Zodia Custody. That is crypto custody, everybody. And it has the permission of the Financial Conduct Authority. So we have regulations, green light, a Standard Chartered company, which is Ripple, Zodia Custody, which is Medico, which is Ripple, and you got them mixed up with Northern Trust. Here's Northern Trust right here. No, it's Zodia Custody. Let me show you this Zodia Custody webpage real quick, because there's all these connections right here with Bayer. Why is this computer going so slow? So there's the connection with Standard Chartered, Northern Trust, Zodia Custody. Here's Zodia Custody. It's mixed up with Australia, the National Australia Bank, SBI. So Australia is all Ripple. Dilip Rao left Ripple. Dilip Rao, Ripple executive, leaves Ripple 2 years ago, goes to work for the Australia National Bank, the Federal Reserve of Australia. This whole thing is Ripple right here. Standard Chartered, Ripple partner. SBI, Ripple partner. They own 10% of all the XRP. You got Northern Trust mixed up in this. Northern National Australia Bank. If we look down below, we'll see Hong Kong is mixed up in this, along with the Central Bank of Ireland, which is a Ripple partner. Here's your evidence with Australia and Ripple. Copy and paste. Ex-Ripple executive to lead Australia's CBDC project right there. So this article shows you that there's a Ripple executive who was there from day one, who left, went to work for the Reserve Bank of Australia to hook up the country of Australia with crypto. The article talks about Zodia Custody and Northern Trust working with Hong Kong, or they have offices in Hong Kong, so that means they're working with the government. And we all know that Hong Kong is a Ripple partner. Let me show you this article here. Go to the 20-second mark. 22-second mark. What do we see? Ripple Hong Kong. Copyright 2014. Largest Ripple gateway in Hong Kong. Now, here's an article on Standard Chartered, and it talks about back in 2016, they started working with Ripple. See how far back that goes? Standard Chartered, Ripple partner, 2016. And they made a strategic investment in Ripple like 9 years ago. Now, if we look here at this article with Standard Chartered, who's linked up with Northern Trust and Bayer. Let me do a copy paste. Here's the evidence. You got Standard Chartered backed Zodia Custody, joins Ripple owned Medico, which is custody for global crypto storage. So what do we got here? Standard Chartered has something called Zodia Custody. Standard Chartered has been an investor in Ripple for the past 9 years. Standard Chartered has something called Zodia Custody, which is crypto sales and custody, and they're utilizing Ripple's Medico That's a Swiss company, Medico, that was sold to Ripple for about 100 million or whatever it was, $250 million. And now Ripple has custody through Medico institutional, as well as Ripple has had custody in a wallet, a downloadable wallet, since 2014 that no other channel knows. That came from the Ripple Singapore. So Ripple has different kinds of custody. And that is, we're at the 1 hour and 5 minute mark. Let's go over one last article. Our second last article. And this one will be a quick one. I have an issue with all this. Everybody's saying the Ripple case is over. It's not officially over, okay? I don't know why everybody sees Brad Garlinghouse and just Brad says something, everybody just takes off running. Hey, everybody, Brad Garlinghouse, the Ripple case is over. It's not over officially. We don't know that. Okay, we're back. So everybody talks about Brad Garlinghouse, the Ripple case is over or whatever, da-da-da. Here's the title. This is Binance. And I've been seeing this title everywhere, okay? It's a fake title. SEC officially dropped its lawsuit versus Ripple. On March 19th, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse revealed that the SEC had officially withdrawn the lawsuit. Okay. A development later confirmed by CNBC. Of course, we see no legal papers. We have no legal papers on this. Wait, hold on a minute there. Michelle says, great uplifting show today, Hulk. Thanks for all the news you bring us, good and bad. But today was fire. Well, it's just what the news is. So sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. And whether you like it or not, it's the news. It's just how it works. So what I was looking at here today is the SEC case. I don't have proof that it's over. Brad Garlinghouse saying it's over is not proof, okay? That's his opinion right now. And what's really funny is this fake court case went on for 4 years. Nobody ever talks about the 2015 court case. We already determined what Ripple was and is. We've already determined in 2015 what is Ripple and what is the XRP. This has all been figured out in court. Ripple has not sold XRP since 2013. I'm the only one showing the evidence for that. It's XRP Fund 2, which is a subsidiary of Ripple, and it also was deemed a money service business, and it was the XRP itself was deemed currency by the United States government. So we have had a fake court case for 4 years. Now, Brad, but nobody questions that except Crypto Hulk. And then all of a sudden, Brad Garlinghouse comes out and says, hey, everybody, the court case is over. The SEC officially dropped its lawsuit. Well, I don't see any court documents on that. I don't see the SEC webpage officially announcing we have withdrawn from this court hearing. The court paperwork should be in 1 or 2 days. Here we are, like what, 4 or 5 days later? 5 days later. Where's the court documents? They don't take that long. It's like 24-hour turnaround. That's it. Unless it's a weekend, then you got 2 days. Okay. So if the court case ended at like 4:00 p.m. on a Friday, well, the next business day in court would be like Monday. So it would be like 2 days before you get paperwork for that. We're 5 days into it. I still haven't seen any court paperwork. I have not seen on an SEC website, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't seen it, but maybe I missed it. The SEC officially announcing they have withdrawn, expect to receive court documents in a day or two. I haven't seen any of that. So why is everybody telling me, yeah, Crypto Hulk, the case is over? It's not over. I'm trying to teach you guys how to think. Brad Garlinghouse saying a court hearing is over, an SEC officially dropped his lawsuit. That's not fact. But the minute you guys see something, you just run with it, don't you? That's not how we do stuff on the channel. It's fact-based. The court hearing's over? Okay, Crypto Hulk. I want to see the court documents showing that the case was dismissed. I haven't seen that. So it's not over. I don't know why Brad Garlinghouse is out there telling everybody that's officially dropped or whatever. As far as I'm concerned, we still got court hearings going on. It's the same fucking shit. I don't see anything different until I see a court document. So from now on, don't go out there saying, oh yeah, Crypto Hulk, the case is over. It's not over. Show me evidence. Answer, there is none, okay? Now, if there's some court documents that happened and they didn't put them out for 2-3 weeks, I'm still right because I said officially over. I'm not saying anything official. So if they're keeping paperwork and holding it, then it's not officially released to everybody, okay? That's what I'm saying. Okay, now check this out. Can you explain your title, 20,000 XRP, done it with your calculator? Yeah, I can explain it real easy. Watch the show. Start from the beginning. All right. King L7, 7L King, member for 31 months at the 2024 crypto explosion level. Oh, damn. Good news. Appreciate it as always. Case super fake. Tired of the hype people that think it was real. Wow. Can't stand fake news and hype, etc. It's so irritating. We all know all the shit's fake. In the end, when all this is said and done, people are going to look back and be like, damn, that Crypto Hulk 4 years ago was saying this is a fake trial. He kept going on and on. Oh, fake trial, fake trial. And everyone's like, oh, that 2015 case doesn't mean anything. Da, 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 da. Crypto Hulk doesn't know what he's talking about. We're going to look back at this years later and be like, damn, that Crypto Hulk, how did that motherfucker know all this shit? Yeah, stare decisis. There's already a case that determines this. It's all done. Speaking of all done, my name is Crypto Hulk, and I'm all done with this show. If I can make a PM show, it'll be at 5:15 p.m. Pacific. Right now, it is 8:15 a.m., and it's Monday, the 24th of March, and that'll be it for today. I'll try to see you on the PM. Adios.